Hello all, this video, let's learn about India's river system. India's river system is divided into two major types. They are Himalayan rivers consisting of perennial rivers like the Ganga, Yamuna, and Brahmaputra, fed by glaciers and flow year-round. And peninsular rivers consisting of seasonal rivers like the Godavari, Krishna, Narmada, and Kaveri, mainly rain-fed. When we talk about their importance in simple sense, it is crucial for agriculture, drinking water, transport, and hydroelectric power. Overall, the lifeline for millions and deeply linked to India's culture and economy. As you can see the screen, there are 13 major river systems. In that 3 are Himalayan rivers and balance 10 are peninsular rivers. The kilometer is not that much needed, although you can make note of it. So, the kilometer is about 17,068, that is I'm saying in relation to those 13 rivers. Himalayan rivers, comprised of snow-covered fed by glaciers and rainfall, while perennial flow throughout the year. Some major rivers are Ganga, Yamuna, Brahmaputra. Their features are long, meandering courses, forming fertile plains and support dense populations. Now, moving to the peninsular rivers, these mostly rise in the western Ghats and flow eastward into the Bay of Bengal, except a few like the Narmada and Tapi, which flow west. They are seasonal, mainly fed by the monsoon rains, so their flow is uneven throughout the year. These rivers, like the Godavari, Krishna, and Kaveri, have shorter and more stable courses, often forming plateaus and waterfalls. Though not perennial like the Himalayan rivers, they are crucial for southern India's irrigation and water supply. Let's see those rivers feature one by one. The Brahmaputra River is one of the major Himalayan rivers. It starts in Tibet, where it's called Tsangpo, flows through Arunachal Pradesh as the Siang, and then enters Assam as the Brahmaputra. It finally merges with the Ganga in Bangladesh, forming one of the world's largest river deltas. Unlike most Indian rivers, it carries a huge volume of water and has a massive floodplain, especially during the monsoon. It's also known for its strong currents and frequent flooding, but it's vital for irrigation, transport, and hydropower in the northeast. The Brahmaputra River has several important tributaries, both on the left and right banks. In Arunachal Pradesh and Assam, key tributaries include: on the right bank, we have rivers like the Subansiri, which is the largest tributary, followed by Kameng, Manas, and Dibang. These rivers mostly originate in the eastern Himalayas and bring a lot of water, especially during the monsoon. On the left bank, the main tributary is the Teesta River, which flows from Sikkim and West Bengal. It joins the Brahmaputra in Bangladesh. These tributaries greatly increase the river's volume and are responsible for its flooding tendencies, but they also support irrigation, biodiversity, and hydro projects in the region. I am repeating some lines to stress on the importance, so make sure you consider it. The Ganga Delta, also known as the Sundarbans Delta, is the largest delta in the world. It is formed by the Ganga, Brahmaputra, and Meghna rivers as they flow into the Bay of Bengal. Over thousands of years, these rivers have deposited massive amounts of silt and sediments, creating this vast and fertile triangular delta. The delta is spread across eastern India, mainly West Bengal, and Bangladesh. It's known for its fertile soil, making it ideal for farming, especially rice and jute. It's also home to the Sundarbans mangrove forest, which is a UNESCO World Heritage Site and the habitat of the Royal Bengal tiger. Key tributaries that contribute to the Ganga Delta include: from the Ganga side, Yamuna, Gagra, Gandak, and Kosi. From the Brahmaputra side, Teesta, Manas, and Subansiri. Together, these rivers and tributaries shape the delta and make it one of the most productive and ecologically rich regions in the world. To remember the main tributaries of the Ganga, which are Ganga itself, Gagra, Gandak, Kosi, Yamuna, and Son, here's a fun trick. Just think of this sentence. Great-grandmother gave kind young sweets. Each word stands for a river. Great for Ganga, grandmother for Gagra, gave for Gandak, kind for Kothi, young for Yamuna, and sweets for sun. It's easy to say and helps you recall all 6 rivers quickly. Try repeating it a couple of times, it really sticks. Ganga. Well, the Ganga itself is the main river, so we start there. It's the lifeline of northern India and holds great religious and cultural importance. Gagra. This river comes from the Himalayas, specifically from Nepal. It's a big tributary that joins the Ganga in Uttar Pradesh. Because it carries a lot of water and sediment, it often causes floods during the monsoon. Gandak. Another Himalayan river originating in Nepal, the Gandak joins the Ganga near Patna in Bihar. It's also known for its strong flow during rainy seasons and is important for irrigation. Kosi, often called the sorrow of Bihar, because it causes frequent floods. The Kosi also starts in Nepal and joins the Ganga near the Bihar region. It's known for changing its course sometimes, which makes managing it challenging. Yamuna. The Yamuna is one of the most famous tributaries and flows through Delhi and Uttar Pradesh before joining the Ganga at Allahabad, Prayagraj. It's crucial for many cities along its banks. Sun. Unlike the others, the Sun originates in the Vindhya Hills in Madhya Pradesh, so it's a peninsular river joining the Ganga from the south near Patna. It's an important source of water in the dry seasons. The Indus River is one of the longest rivers in Asia and the lifeline of Pakistan. It starts in the Tibet Plateau, near Lake Mansarovar, and flows through the Ladakh region of India, then enters Pakistan and finally drains into the Arabian Sea. The Indus is known for its historical significance because the ancient Indus Valley civilization flourished along its banks thousands of years ago. It supports agriculture in the arid regions of Pakistan through an extensive irrigation system called the Indus Basin Irrigation System, which is one of the largest in the world. Its major tributaries include the Jhelum, Chenab, Ravi, Beas, and Sutlej, many of which flow through India before joining the Indus in Pakistan. The river plays a crucial role in water supply, agriculture, and hydroelectric power for the region, but managing its water is often a challenge because it crosses international borders. To dive deep in these 5 rivers of Punjab. Jhelum River. It starts from a spring called Verinag in Jammu and Kashmir and flows through the Kashmir Valley before joining the Indus in Pakistan. Chenab River. Formed by the merging of 2 rivers, the Chandra and Bhaga, in Himachal Pradesh, the Chenab flows through Jammu and Kashmir and enters Pakistan to meet the Indus. Ravi River. Originating from the Himalayas in Himachal Pradesh, the Ravi flows westward into Pakistan and joins the Chenab before reaching the Indus. Beas River. It begins in Himachal Pradesh and merges with the Sutlej River in Punjab, India. The combined waters then flow into Pakistan and join the Indus. Sutlej River. The longest of the tributaries, it originates near Lake Rakshasthal in Tibet, flows through Himachal Pradesh and Punjab, and then enters Pakistan to join the Indus. These rivers together create one of the most fertile and agriculturally rich areas in South Asia, supporting millions of people. The water from these tributaries is carefully shared between India and Pakistan under the Indus Waters Treaty. The Godavari River, often called the Dakshina Ganga or the Ganges of the South, is India's second longest river after the Ganga. It originates in the Trimbakeshwar region of the Nashik district in Maharashtra, situated in the Western Ghats, and flows eastward for about 1,465 kilometers before emptying into the Bay of Bengal. Along its journey, the river traverses 5 major states, Maharashtra, Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, and Odisha, draining a vast basin of over 312,000 square kilometers, making it one of the largest in India. The Godavari is primarily a rain-fed river, heavily dependent on the monsoon season, and plays a vital role in agriculture, ecology, and spirituality across southern India. The river has a rich network of tributaries that can be broadly categorized into left bank and right bank tributaries. Some of the key left bank tributaries include the Purna, Pranhita, Indravati, and Sabri rivers. Among these, The Pranhita is particularly notable because it is formed by the confluence of the Valganga and Vardha rivers, and the Indravati is the largest left tributary. On the right bank, important tributaries are the Manjira, Maner, and Dudhna rivers. The left side tributaries are generally longer and more water-rich, as they drain from the forested and hilly regions of states like Chhattisgarh and Odisha. In terms of interconnections, the Godavari plays a critical role in India's broader river-linking vision. A prominent project is the Polavaram project, which connects the Godavari with the Krishna River, aiming to address water scarcity in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. Another successful initiative is the Pattisima Lift Irrigation Scheme, which enables Godavari water to flow into the Krishna Basin, helping reduce drought risk in coastal agricultural areas. These projects are also part of the larger National River Linking Project, NRLP, which seeks to redistribute water between surplus and deficit basins in India, including potential links with rivers like the Mahandi, Kaveri, and others. Ecologically and culturally, the Godavari is immensely significant. Its delta is known as the rice ball of Andhra Pradesh, supporting dense agricultural activity. The river flows through several ecologically rich zones such as the Papikonda National Park, sustaining biodiversity and tribal communities. Culturally, it is considered sacred in Hinduism, with important pilgrimage sites along its course, including Nasik and Rajmundry. Major religious events such as the Kumbh Mela are held along its banks, attracting millions of devotees who come to take a holy dip in its waters. The Godavari River is not only a geographical and hydrological giant, but also a cultural and ecological backbone of peninsular India. It originates from Trimbakeshwar in Maharashtra, flows eastward through 5 states, receives significant tributaries from both sides, especially the Pranhita and Indravati on the left, and ends in a rich, fertile delta at the Bay of Bengal. Through interlinking projects like Polavaram and Pattisima, the Krishna River is one of the most important rivers in southern India, both in terms of geography and agriculture. It ranks as the 4th longest river in India, following the Ganga, Godavari, and Yamuna rivers. It originates in the Western Ghats, specifically from the Mahabaleshwar region in the Satara district of Maharashtra, at an elevation of about 1,300 meters above sea level. From there, the river travels eastward for approximately 1,400 kilometers and eventually drains into the Bay of Bengal, forming an extensive delta along the eastern coast of Andhra Pradesh. The Krishna River basin spans across the states of Maharashtra, Karnataka, Telangana, and Andhra Pradesh, covering a total drainage area of around 258,948 square kilometers. Despite being shorter than the Godavari, the Krishna River is vital to the Deccan Plateau, especially because it supports large-scale irrigation, drinking water supply, and hydroelectric generation across semi-arid regions. Like the Godavari, it is a seasonal river, heavily dependent on monsoon rainfall, although several dams and reservoirs help regulate its flow and provide year-round water storage. The Krishna River is joined by several major tributaries, which are grouped into left bank and right bank tributaries. Some of the prominent left bank tributaries include the Bhima River, Dindi River, and Musi River. The Bhima, in particular, is the largest tributary of the Krishna and flows through Maharashtra and Karnataka, contributing significantly to its volume. The Musi River, though smaller, is historically important as it flows through Hyderabad. On the right bank, key tributaries are the Tungabhadra, Koyna, Malaprabha, and Ghataprabha rivers. Among these, the Tungabhadra River, formed by the confluence of the Tunga and Bhadra rivers in Karnataka, is especially crucial, both for its water contribution and for housing important dams like the Tungabhadra Dam near Hospet. In terms of water management and interconnectivity, the Krishna River plays a central role in South India's water-sharing discussions and infrastructure. One of the most prominent projects involving the Krishna River is the Polavaram project, which links the Godavari River to the Krishna in Andhra Pradesh. This linkage is achieved through the Pattisima Lift Irrigation Scheme, which enables the transfer of surplus Godavari water into the Krishna Basin, especially useful during the dry season. Furthermore, Krishna water is also shared among 4 states, Maharashtra, Karnataka, Telangana, and Andhra Pradesh, based on tribunal awards like the Krishna Water Disputes Tribunal, KWDT. These agreements have been subject to periodic renegotiation due to rising demands, climate change, and developmental needs. The Krishna River also has several major dams and reservoirs built on it and its tributaries. These include the Almatti Dam, Nagarjun Sagar Dam, Srisailam Dam, Tungabhadra Dam, and Koyna Dam. These projects serve multiple purposes, such as irrigation, hydroelectric power generation, flood control, and water supply for domestic and industrial use. The Nagarjuna Sagar Dam, in particular, is one of the largest masonry dams in the world and is central to the irrigation economy of Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. Culturally, the Krishna River holds deep spiritual significance in Hinduism. The river is named after Lord Krishna, and many important pilgrimage towns like Vijayawada, Amravati, and Srisailam are located along its banks. The Krishna Pushkaralu, a religious festival held once every 12 years, attracts millions of devotees who take a holy dip in the river to purify themselves. This sacred character of the river is similar to that of the Godavari and Ganga, reinforcing its place in India's religious and cultural landscape. So, shall we recollect the point? Yeah. Let's begin. The Krishna River is not only a crucial physical and ecological feature of peninsular India, but it also forms the lifeline for millions across multiple states. Originating from Mahabaleshwar in Maharashtra, it flows eastward across the Deccan Plateau and into the Bay of Bengal, receiving important tributaries like the Bhima and Tungabhadra. It supports vast irrigation systems, hydropower plants, and interbasin transfers such as the Godavari-Krishna link. With its blend of hydrological utility, cultural depth, and strategic importance, the Krishna River continues to shape the geography, economy, and traditions of South India. Also plays a major role in water redistribution, showcasing how rivers can be both natural blessings and engineered lifelines. It is requested to listen to the audio but memorize the video that was made by us for memory recall. Alright everyone, let's talk about one of India's most fascinating rivers, the Narmada. Now, before we dive into details, here's a quick question for you. Which direction do most Indian rivers flow? That's right, eastward, toward the Bay of Bengal. But here's the interesting part. The Narmada breaks that pattern. It flows westward, all the way to the Arabian Sea. Surprising, isn't it? The Narmada originates from the Amarkantak Plateau in the Anuppur district of Madhya Pradesh, at about 1057 meters above sea level. Just imagine it, starting in the highlands of central India, then making its way across rugged terrain, forested valleys, and eventually reaching the sea near Bharuch in Gujarat. It's about 1,312 kilometers long, which makes it the longest west-flowing river in India. And here's something to remember. Its course acts as a natural boundary between North and South India, specifically between the Vindhya and Satpura mountain ranges. Now let's think about this. Most rivers cut through soft ground, but the Narmada flows through a rift valley, created by geological faulting. That's why its path is unusually straight. This also makes it home to dramatic landscapes like the Dhuandhar Falls and the marble rocks of Bhairagad. If you've seen pictures or visited, you'll know how breathtakingly beautiful these places are. Nature and geology really put on a show here. Moving on to its tributaries, can you recall what a tributary is? Exactly, it's a smaller river that joins a larger one. The Narmada doesn't have many big tributaries, but some are quite important. On the right bank, we have rivers like the Tava, Hiran, and Shakkar. The Tava River is the biggest among them and even has a dam of its own. On the left bank, we find smaller tributaries like the Banjar and Chorbari. So even though the Narmada isn't fed by massive rivers like the Ganga or Godavari is, it still gathers enough water from these to flow steadily. Now let's talk about human use, because we know that rivers in India are not just natural features, they're lifelines. The Sardar Sarovar Dam on the Narmada in Gujarat is one of India's biggest and most ambitious water projects. It provides irrigation, drinking water, and hydroelectric power to large parts of Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, and even Rajasthan. Then there's the Indira Sagar Dam in Madhya Pradesh, which holds a massive amount of water and supports many development needs. But let's also be thoughtful here. The building of these dams has raised environmental and displacement concerns, especially for tribal communities living in the valley. It's a classic example of the development versus sustainability debate. You might be wondering, does the Narmada connect to other rivers? Unlike the Godavari-Krishna interlinking projects, the Narmada flows through a narrow rift and has limited interbasin connectivity. However, there are local water diversion schemes, especially in Gujarat, where water from the Narmada is lifted and channeled to drier regions for agriculture and drinking purposes. Now, let's not forget the cultural and spiritual side of the river. The Narmada is considered one of the 7 holiest rivers in Hinduism. People believe it was created by Lord Shiva's sweat, and it's often personified not as a goddess, like the Ganga, but as a powerful and self-purifying force. Pilgrims perform the Narmada Parikrama, a sacred walk along both banks of the river, covering the entire length and back, on foot. That's an incredible spiritual journey. Temples like Omkareshwar, Maheshwar, and Amarkantak attract thousands of devotees every year. So, to sum it up in your own words, what makes the Narmada so special? It flows westward, through a rift valley, carving out beautiful landscapes and sustaining life through projects like the Sardar Sarovar Dam. Its cultural richness is just as deep as its geological and ecological significance. It may not be the longest or have the most tributaries, but its story is unique and powerful. Let's begin with a question to warm up. What's one of the most important rivers flowing through eastern central India? If you said Mahandi, you're right on track. The Mahandi River, whose name literally means Great River, is one of the major rivers of the peninsular India and a lifeline for the state of Odisha. It originates from the Sihava Hills in the Dhamtari district of Chhattisgarh, part of the Chota Nagpur Plateau, at an elevation of about 442 meters above sea level. From its humble forested origin, it travels around 851 kilometers before draining into the Bay of Bengal, forming a wide and fertile delta near Paradeep on the Odisha coast. Now here's something important to remember. Even though the Mahandi isn't as long as the Godavari or Krishna, its drainage basin is massive, covering approximately 141,600 square kilometers across Chhattisgarh, Odisha, Jharkhand, and parts of Maharashtra and Madhya Pradesh. And because it flows through such a fertile region, it has historically been called the gift of Odisha, a bit like how Egypt was called the gift of the Nile. But let's pause here and think, what kind of river is the Mahandi? It's a seasonal river, heavily dependent on the monsoon. During the rainy season, it can swell and flood large areas, so much so that it has often been called one of the most flood-prone rivers in India. But that same monsoon flow is also what makes it so crucial for agriculture, especially rice farming in Odisha's coastal plains. Now, let's take a closer look at its tributaries. Can you recall what tributaries are? That's right, smaller rivers that flow into a larger one. The main left bank tributaries of the Mahandi include the Sionath, Hasdeo, Mand, and Ibi rivers. These mostly originate in Chhattisgarh and play a major role in the upper catchment. On the right bank, you'll find rivers like the Tel and Bong, which contribute to the middle and lower course. Among these, the Sionath River is the most significant tributary, joining the Mahandi near Raipur, the capital of Chhattisgarh. Let's shift focus to development and dam projects. To manage floods and use its waters for irrigation and electricity, the government built the Hirakud Dam, and this is a name you must remember. The Hirakud Dam, near Sambalpur in Odisha, is one of the longest earthen dams in the world. It stretches over 25 kilometers if you include all the dikes and embankments. It was completed in the 1950s as one of India's first major post-independence infrastructure projects. Today, it provides irrigation to over 2 million hectares, supplies drinking water, and generates hydroelectric power. Now a quick question, is the Mahandi part of India's river interlinking plans? The answer is yes, at least in terms of potential. Since the Mahandi Basin receives high rainfall and has periodic surplus water, it is considered for interbasin water transfer projects, especially toward water-scarce regions in the south, like linking it with the Godavari Basin. However, such projects are complex and require agreement among multiple states. In recent years, water-sharing disputes, especially between Chhattisgarh and Odisha, have emerged due to concerns over dam construction and upstream usage. Beyond geography and politics, the Mahandi holds deep cultural and historical importance. Cities like Cuttack, one of Odisha's oldest urban centers, and Sambalpur, are located on its banks. The river is worshipped by local communities, and several festivals revolve around its seasonal cycle. Temples and ghats along the Mahandi are part of everyday spiritual life, especially in Odisha. And don't forget, the river's fertile delta region has supported civilizations for centuries, contributing to Odisha's rich cultural heritage. So, to wrap up, let's recall what we've learned. The Mahandi River rises from the Sihava Hills in Chhattisgarh, flows eastward for about 851 kilometers, and drains into the Bay of Bengal, supporting large agricultural regions and dense populations. It has tributaries like the Sionath, Hasdeo, Aibi, and Tel, and is home to the Hirakud Dam, a major irrigation and hydroelectric facility. Though it brings prosperity, it's also known for devastating floods and complex interstate water politics. And like all great rivers in India, it is not just a channel of water, but a carrier of life, culture, and tradition. The Tapi River, or Tapti, is one of India's few west-flowing rivers, originating from the Satpura range in Madhya Pradesh and flowing through Maharashtra and Gujarat before emptying into the Arabian Sea near Surat. It is about 724 kilometers long and has a basin area of 65,000 sq km. Major tributaries include the Purna, Girna, and Vaghur. The river is crucial for irrigation, supported by the Ukai Dam, and passes through dry regions with limited rainfall. Culturally, it's tied to Surat's trade history and holds spiritual value in the region. The Pennar River is a seasonal, east-flowing river of southern India. It originates from the Nandi Hills in Karnataka, flows through Andhra Pradesh, and empties into the Bay of Bengal near Nellore. It is about 597 kilometers long, with a drainage basin of around 55,000 sq km. Major tributaries include the Jaimangali, Chitravati, Cheru, and Papagni rivers. The Pennar supports irrigation in drought-prone Rayalaseema and coastal Andhra, but suffers from low water availability due to uneven rainfall. Though not a major river in volume, it is vital for local agriculture and drinking water in southern Andhra Pradesh. The Mahi River originates from the Vindhya range in Madhya Pradesh, flows through Rajasthan, and finally enters Gujarat, where it drains into the Arabian Sea. It spans about 580 kilometers and has a basin area of around 34,842 sq km. Key tributaries include the Anas, Kali Sindh, and Sevan rivers. The Mahi is vital for irrigation, particularly in Gujarat, with major projects like the Mahi Bajaj Sagar Dam. Its flow supports agriculture in arid regions and contributes to drinking water supply, but it is relatively smaller in volume compared to other major rivers. The Suvarnarekha River originates from the Chota Nagpur Plateau near Ranchi in Jharkhand and flows through West Bengal and Odisha before draining into the Bay of Bengal. It is about 395 kilometers long with a basin area of roughly 19,500 sq km. Key tributaries include the Kharkei and Kachi rivers. Though relatively small, Suvarnarekha is vital for local agriculture, industry, and water supply. It's also known for its mineral-rich basin, especially gold traces, hence the name, Suvarnarekha, meaning, streak of gold. The Sabarati River originates from the Aravalli Hills near Udaipur in Rajasthan and flows westward through Gujarat, finally draining into the Arabian Sea near the Gulf of Khambat. It is about 371 kilometers long, with a basin area of around 21,000 sq km. Major tributaries include the Vakal, Hatmati, and Meshro rivers. The Sabarati is crucial for Ahmedabad's water supply and is known for the Sabarati Ashram, associated with Mahatma Gandhi. The Sabarati Riverfront project in Ahmedabad is a notable urban development along its banks. Now, we will explore the rivers through map. Let's recall our memory retainment from I.